Welcome back to World Crisis Radio, Webster Tarpley in Washington. This is the news that the CIA striptease artists over at WikiLeaks won't give you. You won't be reading this in any WikiLeaks document dumps. So now we have Odyssey Dawn. Odyssey, because it lasts 10 years, except you won't get back to Ithaca, and there is no Penelope in the story. Not Madame Sarkozy Bruni there in Paris, not Michelle either. Odyssey, and of course Dawn, because it's for the twilight of empire. So Odyssey Dawn, the 10-year twilight of empire. But there are other names involved, too. The British have their own name. You can read about that on my website. It's really called Southern Storm of the British, and Southern Mistral. The Mistral, of course, that southwest wind that comes into France from the Mediterranean. The idea is this, that this entire operation was cynically drilled in advance by the Suez twins, the Suez 1956 imperialist twins, Britain and France, last October, November. Southern Mistral. You can read about this in various places online. The whole thing is really being run by U.S. Africom in Stuttgart, Germany. U.S. Africom created, and now you see why it was created, to do something. The other thing, that's the bombing side of it. That's the most recent refinement, because the scenario, of course, goes back to the Shaler affair. You can read about this in my article. The David Shaler affair in 1995, an attempt to kill Gaddafi, followed by a rebellion precisely of Benghazi and Tobruk and Darna and these places, right? The Cyrenaica, northeast Libya. So that scenario has been there for a long time, but they had to update it, they had to drill it. Southern Storm, Southern Mistral. The other important element is the DGSE. We don't talk about them too much, but they're there, and they thrive to some degree because they don't get the attention that CIA, MI6, FSB, and some others get, Mossad. DGSE, more in the shadows. Direction Générale des Services Extérieurs. This is French imperialism. These are your guys left over from Pétain and Vichy and Mitterrand, these sorts of characters. Right? This is the dark side of France. What did they do? Well, you have this top Libyan officer and official close to Gaddafi, but with deep roots in that Benghazi, Tobruk area. We're talking Nouri Mesmari, Mesmari. And according to the French magazine Marianne of France, the mag, says Nouri Mesmari was turned by the DGSE. Obviously, money, maybe blackmail, who knows. He defected. He defected from Libya to France, and he brought with him a clique of military people in Benghazi and Tobruk. So that's how this was then assembled, right? Remember, you've got your Islamists, you've got your Al-Qaeda, you've got your Libyan Islamic fighting group there in that corridor between Benghazi and Tobruk, with Darna being right in the middle. Then you've got some Senussi tribesmen, and you've got some military traitors, right? Some turncoats. So that's what's fighting Gaddafi. And again, the majority of them are terrorists. We're going to get into this in just a second. But the chaos now. The chaos is Obama says, I want to hand off because I'm a peace angel, and we have imperial overstretch anyway. Then the British say, all right, we'll take over. The French say, no, you won't. Sarkozy says, I'm going to get reelected with this. I'm going to get out there and show people that I kill Arabs, right? Marine Le Pen may say she hates Arabs. Well, I can do better. I can actually go out and kill them. By the way, Marine Le Pen has now, she can't outdo Sarkozy in that department. So she's now outflanked him a little bit to the left, saying, oh, I think this is probably too much. So she gets to pretend to be a humanitarian. Sarkozy's approval ratings is about 20-25%. And we're just hearing there are going to be some French regional and local elections. Sarkozy's party is going to get slammed. So he is one desperate demagogue. This is more or less where Napoleon III was when he started the Franco-Prussian War in the early 1870s, with very bad results for France. But now here's the rest of it. Since this is an ad hoc coalition of the duped and the coerced, or in this case of the demagogues, who will join it? Well, above all, Italy says, wait a minute, we don't take orders from France and Britain. We work maybe through the NATO command, but those 7 critical Italian bases, including Sigonella, Sicily, which is the closest to Tripoli, you can't expect us to let the French and the British take over our bases. It has to be NATO. And at this point, the French come in as a cover story to safeguard the idea that the French want to lead it, that Sarkozy wants to be the man on horseback riding into Tripoli like Napoleon in Cairo or like Guy Mollet in Algiers. He says, no, wait, if we have a NATO command, then I can't get enough Arab puppets. Up to now, they got one Arab puppet. It's Qatar. It is the Typhoid Mary of the Arab world. They have sent, I think, 2 planes now, 2 Mirages, as if to underline that the participation of the Arab world is a mirage. The whole thing is a mirage as far as the Arabs go. They can't join this because it's impossible politically to join a NATO or any coalition so dedicated to killing Arabs as this one obviously is. So they're trying to get the United Arab Emirates to send some planes. That hasn't worked yet. But that's the French argument. It can't be NATO because then the Arab puppets can't join in. Then it's complicated. Turkey says, wait a minute, it can't be NATO because this is killing Muslims here, and we can't be a part of that, so we forbid it. And there's some compromise about this. Nobody in the world can tell you what the compromise is. It may be that NATO does the no-fly zone, and under the no-fly zone, the French can go in and kill whoever they want with the help of the British and, of course, the U.S. doing most of the killing. But it's not clear whether that rotten compromise can hold up. I think it is a rotten compromise, but I don't think this can hold up in practice. In the meantime, also, Norway says, well, wait a minute, we don't like this whole thing. This has gone way too far. We're dropping out. And I think you may have some other dropouts. Generally, tensions in Europe are very, very high. We just had the European Union meeting in Brussels. They've got their bailout fund for finance capitalists up into about $1 trillion U.S. dollars. Portugal, much credit to the Portuguese parliament, they have rejected the despicable austerity plan of Socrates, the socialist prime minister. This guy's an IMF, World Bank, Eurocrat, pseudo-socialist. He is the main austerity ghoul on the scene. His government is now fallen. Good riddance. Now Portugal, go for a debt moratorium. Portugal, if Brazil did it, your daughter state, Brazil went for a debt moratorium. So did Mexico. So did Argentina. Portugal, you do it too. And that will be the best thing you can do. And dump these austerity fiends. And above all, dump Barroso, the Portuguese fascist who is the head of the European Commission. Don't let that relic of the Salazar Estado Novo, the fascist regime, dictate your future and the destruction of your children's future. But you can see the operations over Libya are costing billions of dollars a month easily. Where does this money come from? How come we find the money for this when everybody in Europe is taking it on the chin with this insane austerity stuff? So that's what's going on there. The other thing, of course, is that even the Obama policy on the U.S. command structure is duplicitous in 5 or 6 different ways. But primarily, he says, we don't want the U.S. out in front. Well, of course, the U.S. has been out in front. The U.S. fired 120 cruise missiles. The British, I think, fired 2. So this is nothing. But there's even more. There's the imperialist monkey trap for the French to get them into a quagmire in Libya and destroy France in the process. Frenchmen, beware. We'll be back in a minute.